welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the decadent world of desserts, spotlighting 7 of the most delicious treats from around the globe. Each dessert comes with its unique charm, flavors, and textures, and today we'll walk you through the ingredients and step-by-step preparations, so get your aprons ready, and let's get started on this sweet adventure. Alright, you lot, let's kick things off with a classic tiramisu. This Italian masterpiece is all about layers, and believe me, we're not cutting any corners here. First, grab your lady fingers and don't even think about using those soggy excuses I've seen on some cooking shows. We need them firm enough to hold their shape when dipped in that strong espresso. And listen up, don't you dare drown those lady fingers. A quick dip is all they need to soak up that coffee goodness without turning into a mushy mess. Now let's talk mascarpone. This creamy, dreamy cheese is the heart of your tiramisu. Whip it up until it's light and airy, then gently fold in a mixture of sugar and egg yolks. Remember, you're not making scrambled eggs here, so keep that folding gentle and slow. Get rough with it and you'll end up with a lumpy disaster. Next, the layering begins. Dip those lady fingers in the espresso, then arrange them snugly at the bottom of your dish. Top it with a generous layer of that luscious mascarpone cream, then dust it generously with cocoa powder. Repeat these layers until your dish is full, ending with a final dusting of cocoa powder. Next up, we're traveling to Japan for some mochi. These little chewy treats are like pillows of pure delight, and I'm going to show you how to make them from scratch. First, grab your glutinous rice flour. Don't let the name fool you, there's no gluten in this flour, it just refers to the sticky texture. Now combine this flour with sugar and water, and whisk it until you have a smooth batter. Microwave the batter in short bursts, stirring in between, until it comes together into a sticky, translucent dough. Once it's cool enough to handle, dust your work surface with cornstarch and turn that dough out. Knead it for a few minutes until it's smooth and pliable. Divide the dough into small portions, flatten each portion into a disc, add a dollop of filling, and then pinch the edges together to seal it tightly. Let's head to Greece now for a taste of baklava, a dessert so irresistibly crunchy and sweet, it'll have you saying "Opa." The key to a good baklava is layers, and lots of them. We're talking paper-thin layers of phyllo pastry, brushed with melted butter and layered with a nutty, fragrant filling. First, let's make that filling. We're talking finely chopped nuts, pistachios, walnuts, almonds, whatever you fancy, toasted to perfection and mixed with sugar and spices like cinnamon and cloves. Now for the layering. Lay down a sheet of phyllo pastry, brush it with melted butter, then repeat. After a few layers, sprinkle on a generous amount of that delicious nut filling, then continue layering the phyllo pastry and butter on top. Once you've used up all your filling, tuck in any stray pastry edges and brush the top with more melted butter. Now, into a hot oven it goes until the baklava is golden brown and crispy. While it's baking, prepare a simple syrup by simmering sugar and water together until it thickens. As soon as that baklava comes out of the oven, pour the hot syrup all over it, allowing it to soak in and create that signature sticky sweetness. Let it cool completely before you even think about cutting into it. Next up, we're heading down under for a taste of pavlova, a dessert that's light, airy, and as beautiful as a ballerina's tutu. The star of the show here is the meringue, and to make it, you'll need egg whites, sugar, and a little bit of patience. Whisk those egg whites until they form stiff peaks. We're talking peaks so firm, they could hold a spoon upright. Then, gradually add the sugar, whisking constantly until the meringue is thick, glossy, and holds its shape. Now spread that meringue onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, forming a sort of nest-like shape. Pop it into a preheated oven and bake until the meringue is crisp on the outside but still slightly marshmallowy on the inside. Let it cool completely before you even think about adding the toppings. And speaking of toppings, the possibilities are endless. Whipped cream is a must, of course, and fresh fruit adds a lovely pop of color and flavor. Chapter 5. Churros, Spain's crispy cinnamon sugar dreams. Let's spice things up a bit with some churros. Those irresistible Spanish fritters that are crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, and dusted with cinnamon sugar. First things first, we need to make the dough. It's a simple mixture of flour, water, butter, and a pinch of salt. Bring the water and butter to a simmer, then tip in the flour all at once and stir like mad until it forms a smooth ball that pulls away from the sides of the pan. Let it cool slightly, then beat in some eggs one at a time until you have a smooth, pipeable dough. Now heat up a generous amount of oil in a large pan. We're talking deep enough to fry those churros to golden perfection. While the oil is heating, fit a piping bag with a star-shaped nozzle and fill it with that gorgeous churro dough. Once the oil is hot, carefully pipe long strips of dough directly into the hot oil, using a knife or scissors to cut them to your desired length. Fry them until they're golden brown and crispy, turning them occasionally to ensure even cooking. Chapter 6. Crème Brûlée. Cracking into French elegance. Get ready to indulge in some French elegance with crème brûlée, a dessert that's both rich and delicate, with a satisfyingly crisp, caramelized top. The heart of a good crème brûlée is the custard, and we're not cutting any corners here. We're talking heavy cream, egg yolks, sugar, and a touch of vanilla extract for that intoxicating aroma. Heat the cream and vanilla together until it's just simmering, then temper it into the egg yolks and sugar, whisking constantly to prevent any scrambling. Strain the custard through a fine mesh sieve to remove any lumps, then divide it among ramekins. Place the ramekins in a baking dish and fill the dish with hot water until it reaches halfway up the sides of the ramekins. This water bath ensures that the custards cook evenly and gently, resulting in a silky smooth texture. Bake those custards in a preheated oven until they're just set but still slightly wobbly in the center. Then let them cool completely before chilling them in the fridge for at least a couple of hours. Just before serving, sprinkle a thin layer of sugar over each custard and caramelize it with a kitchen torch until it forms a crisp, golden brown crust. Chapter 7. Gulab Jamun Golden Dumplings of Indian Sweetness. Finally, let's finish our dessert journey in India with Gulab Jamun, those gloriously sweet milk dumplings that are soaked in a fragrant sugar syrup. First, we need to make the dough. It's made with milk solids, flour, and a touch of ghee, which gives it a wonderfully rich flavor and a melt-in-your-mouth texture. Combine those ingredients and knead them together until you have a smooth, pliable dough. Divide the dough into small portions and roll each portion into a smooth ball. Now heat up some ghee or oil in a pan. You want enough to deep fry those gulab jamun to golden perfection. Fry the dumplings over low heat, turning them occasionally to ensure even cooking. While the gulab jamun are frying, prepare the sugar syrup. This syrup is flavored with cardamom, rose water, and sometimes even saffron, which gives it a wonderfully aromatic and floral sweetness. Once the syrup has thickened, carefully add the fried gulab jamun, letting them soak up all that delicious syrup. Thank you for joining us on this sweet adventure today. From the classic Italian tiramisu to the rich Indian gulab jamun, these desserts showcase the incredible variety and richness of flavors from around the world. Be sure to try these recipes at home, and tell us in the comments which one you're most excited to make. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of our delicious journeys ahead. Until next time, happy baking and enjoy your sweet moments.